Looks like we're not having any technical difficulties yet. And keep our fingers crossed, knock on some wood if you're into the luck. Right, do us a favor. Excuse my cough today. I was up all night coughing. I don't know why, but wasn't amazing. Didn't sleep much today, so if I sound a little bit tired today, just go ahead and type something in the chat, get us motivated, or go ahead and just jump on the mic and do a little taking over because I might need a little bit of help with keeping the enthusiasm up today, as I am a little bit tired. I got a Celsius here trying to power me in, getting the energy back up, but we'll kind of see how it goes. It's sometimes tough when you don't get a lot of sleep to stay there and manage that risk, right? So we got to be careful today. But let's jump right into it. We can see yesterday's profile, right? Really looks like a B to me. And, for me, that's kind of telling of liquidation. And, we have this excess on the top. And to me, that's kind of representing maybe, a longer term time frame trader came into the market yesterday at the high. And we see that reaction right off of that point of control. And so maybe they got kind of scared out. Clipper, good morning. Morning, Adam. And so maybe we'll really be kind of utilizing this as resistance, or I'll be kind of looking at this as possible resistance into today, right? And I mean we're really far away from it, so it's not really going to be telling us much. But what I'm kind of thinking is this longer term seller came into the market, was identified by the longer term buyer that trapped a bunch of weak shorts here in the previous day, and so then they just started to liquidate. Right, this long term seller obviously is not going to move down and short. We identified yesterday that momentum short, or the laggard short, got kind of stuck at the bottom. The market didn't kind of rallied and just kind of popped in. You can see the market, the difference between the settle and the last, right? The reason being is because Tesla beat, or not Tesla, Netflix had a good earnings yesterday. Morning, Tommy. And the market moved big after hours yesterday. So you can see the discrepancy in the last. So right now we're saying that overnight inventory is pretty much net short, not really a huge uh, a huge difference. Sometimes I just will use the last when they're that far apart, right? We're at 32 to 58, so we've got a pretty good distance between the set on the last. So I'm measuring from that last trade just to get a more relative estimation, or a better estimation, I should say. Um, and so basically, what we can expect off the open, we're probably going to get a negative breath to open the day, right? Last trade was all the way up here, so we can assume that the market rallied late in the day. Adam, good morning. We got two Adams. Uh, and so we can assume that this morning we're open up with a fairly negative breath, right? Fairly negative tick. We're about 50 points down from where that last trade happened, so we can assume that. So the key here will be to watch. Once again, it's similar to yesterday. We had that gap up, we had the positive breath, positive tick, and then we got that push back down because we got that response and that correction of that overnight inventory. We'll be watching for that kind of in the same direction. Any weakness starting the open will really be targeting this point of control from yesterday, right? Very wide point of control, almost encompassing every TPO, right? Just minus one TPO. So I think there was 13 TPOs here. And so it's a very prominent point of control, and the market typically likes to retest those areas. Okay. I want to pull over the daily chart here so we can kind of see what we're working with. We had this 50 cross over the 100, right? Not necessarily something that everybody tracks, but just something that we want to pay attention to, that shorter term we are, making lower lows and lower highs, okay? And I know everyone's kind of expecting this big rally into earnings and everything like that, but we definitely want to keep our head on a swivel. We've got the 200 weekly moving average right here, 3602. That's a key reference that we want to be paying attention to. And then we have 35, 36, that 50 weekly moving average as well that we want to be paying attention to, right? So just wanted to bring those to light. If you don't have them on your chart, maybe mark them. You know, I've got them down here. 3602, we said. Right, and it's not going to be exact. You just want to have it in the relative area. That's what's going to kind of keep you on board and put you in the right direction at least. Or at least if you are, you know, let's say you're shorting the market and then all of a sudden it just bounces off this 3602. I mean, it's pretty psychological level, but let's just say it bounced off that 3602 and you're thinking like, what's going on? Nothing's really changing. How come the market's bouncing? Well, now you know, okay? Well, let's go ahead and take a little peek around the block here. Uh, Zoom in a bit. All right. So the dollar, right? Dollar starting to sky overnight. Really, yesterday just kind of back and forth, didn't really do much, but since has started to pump up. And this is kind of off the backs of them saying that they might cut off oil supply to or oil exports to some of these countries, right? Forcing them to go into the market and sell their own currency and buy the dollar to come back and buy oil, right? And no surprise off of that, oil had a decent move up off those lows yesterday and is pretty much holding that ground. The Aussie dollar kind of just balancing at the top. The euro, you know, basically just ran out of steam up here, could not break that into that dollar mark. Has since kind of traded down. We see Bitcoin got that liquidation from the market yesterday and did bounce with the market, but looks like overnight or after the market closed, got a little bit of selling that kept it moving lower here. So there's a little trend here that you want to be paying attention to. Apple going to be opening up inside yesterday's range, has traded lower. AMD basically opening up inside yesterday's range. You could really see the B shape here off that liquidation, right? So you figure with this, right, you had this big accumulation here, and then they just started liquidating pretty much all day, right? Sellers got too short, market rallied, they liquidated some more. Sellers got too short, market rallied, they liquidated some more. Buyers tried to step in after market, and they just liquidated some more. Amazon actually looking fairly strong comparatively to the others, but still trading around yesterday's low. Google kind of in the same boat, did break over that 100 level, and that's kind of the key level that we're watching. We're now above that, so if Google can stay above 100, that'd be bullish for the market and maybe give the market a little bit of support here. Meta, still just trying to find out how to walk here, still just struggling for the most part, not really not really having the best time of its life here. Microsoft trading inside yesterday's range. Netflix, right, off of earnings, talked about this. Good earnings yesterday. You can see here. I guess it won't pop up. Let's see. Netflix earnings was estimated 2.11, or their actual earnings was 2.11, estimated as 3.1, actual on 3 p.m. after the market, and then they got upgraded. They gave good forward guidance, so big boost after that. TNX gapping up today, up at 41. This will be something that we want to keep our eye on here as the market continues on through the day, right? We talked about this 40 level on the TNX is not really a great level to be above and kind of puts pressure for people to sell equities. Um, Today, the big story obviously is going to be Tesla, right? Tesla's got earnings today, so Tesla, still trading up around this 215 level, 218 right now. That 215 level I think is going to be key. There's not really a lot of puts priced in for that, right? People are aiming down for that 200, a little bit lower. But they've got earnings today after the market. There's a lot of pressure on Tesla, especially with the global supply chain and then the whole Twitter thing happening at the end of the month. So a lot of pressure on Tesla. It'll be very interesting to see. What I kind of suspect is maybe some selling during the day and then a big rip into the close. Similar to what we saw in Netflix. The VIX still holding a little bit lower for the most part. I mean, when I say lower, I just mean compared to the previous couple of days. We're still sitting at about 31. You're pricing in here about a 2.5% move still. So, take 3702 times it by, 0.02 and add and subtract, divide and conquer, and you'll have your possibility of range today according to the math. One thing I did want to look at is this trend here on this got kind of a longer, or I guess a shorter trend here off of the high from Globex that we want to watch. Morning Roach, kind of forming here, and then you have another, real steep one here that we'll watch off the open. And if we don't see any strength off the open and we don't break this kind of relatively short trend, then that'll be kind of another key sign of weakness from these buyers. What's going on here? Morning, Trent. And yesterday was kind of an up down day, right? And that's kind of what's leading me to believe that this may act as resistance here. The market moved up, value moved up, but the market finished below its initial balance, and for the most part, never traded back above the open. So just traded down pretty much all day. There was some nice rallies, and we were able to identify as a team yesterday the rally. So that was really cool. I was trying to make a clip of it. I'm still learning how to do those shorts, but big if you were in the trade, or even if you were just involved in the thought process yesterday, big that's a big learning point to be able to identify that turn coming. And it was actually pretty cool to see it in real time and not just kind of go back or notice it after, right? So great work. See that Globex lows right off that prior day high still, right off T2 high, so definitely be watching that. And then the high seems off the open. Really, in order to really kind of turn us into the upside today, we want to see the market rally and get above half back and pretty much hold this level and start to look, mostly for some upside from there. Get back to that last, and we'll see a nice correction of overnight inventory. And if that happens, right, we're probably going to open up, like I said, negative breath and negative tick. But if that happens, we should see the tick get above that zero level, and then we should see green sectors around the board, and we should start to see that negative breath really cool off, depending upon how negative it actually opens. But I am estimating, and I won't be surprised if we do get a fairly negative breath to start the session today.
Given most everything is down, I don't think that would be a stretch.
Yeah.
Well, main things are down. I guess I shouldn't say everything.
Yeah, tech is definitely down big. But not, I mean, not it's not a crazy move. Like, It's not like we're gapped. Like yesterday, we gapped, pretty far above the previous day's settle and the last. Whereas, you know, we had the last up here, and we're kind of, I guess, gapping down on a CME gap mostly.
Is this Globex right here in the middle with the dark green?
Yeah, that's Globex. Not really a ton of news coming out overnight. Not that I've seen really. Um, Nothing really too crazy. We still got about, still 12 minutes here until we get this open. Morning, Lecker. Starts to see dragon. Jay Trader, what's up, man? Jay Clark 3D. Hey now. Crypto Mojo, good morning.
Doesn't Tesla earnings come out today?
Yeah, today after the market closes. Seems like we could have taken the same trade as yesterday off the low. Yeah, a couple of times it looks like it came back down. And today during the Globex session. Thomas, good morning. a random question, but if you second, you take a look at PLS on the range. Yeah. You're looking at some longer time frames here. Yeah, it's definitely an active Globex session, J Trader, for sure. Um,
Does Globex go from close to open again?
Globex goes from the close. Well, it goes from, yeah, it goes from basically from like 1600 to 1700. Then it closes at 1700, and then opens again 1800 Eastern. Morning, Dr. VJ. Morning, Kevin. Yeah, so what are you looking for here, Clipper? I mean, basically this thing is just making, and this looks like the dinosaur. It's funny. Basically it's kind of looking for its footing. It didn't make a lower low here, which is, a fairly good sign that most likely these buyers are kind of stepping up. It is cheap, but it's a telecommunication company. I really don't know much about it, right? Um, on a weekly basis, I would say that probably fair value is around that $5. And so if they keep running this up and hold, the top of this previous weekly level, that $5 is probably the ticket. But it depends what it's attached to, and there's a lot of speculation in the Aussie market right now, especially with the dollar. The Aussie dollar is kind of struggling a little bit here. People, unless it's paired with the yen, and so I mean it is looking like it's one time framing up on the weekly, or no, looks like it's just about to break a cessation of one time framing down on the weekly. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's tough because I just don't know enough about this and what it's kind of attached to really say. But long term, it does look like fair value is kind of around that $5. So there is some opportunity here. But I mean, really, anywhere between 3.88 and $3 is probably, yeah, probably $3. Yeah, probably around like $3, even a little bit lower, is probably a decent spot if you build a position and then target that $5. That would probably be a decent look. Take a look at ETH real quick. Where's the hmm. Did Bybit get like taken off trading view? Deal here. The pitch. Hmm. Yeah, for sure. Clipper, no problem. Did TradingView remove Bybit? I swear that we looked at this yesterday. quick. Let's go ahead and get some Reveille rocking and rolling so we can get ready. All right. That's what we needed. We needed that. Get motivated. Listen up. Got 11 people watching, 10 likes. I like it. Appreciate it. Appreciate everyone smashing that like button. Still got about 3 minutes. Now's that time where you want to take a little time, get your head right, finalize your plan, get yourself in that right space to be able to trade successfully today, and be patient. Let that trade come to you. I'm not seeing Vibit on TradingView. If anyone can kind of look, kind of ruins all of our levels. Still holding some excess here on Bitcoin though. Have to go back and look. How do I like the TradingView platform? I mean, it's okay. It's not the best. I like NinjaTrader. Well, I like Sierra Chart's better, and I like NinjaTrader better than TradingView, but TradingView is not bad. I don't really do any trading on TradingView though. I just mainly look at it for charting, and that's it. But it's pretty good for charting. It's not the best trading platform. Yeah, the volume profile on Thinkorswim is not the best. You definitely want to try to find. There's some secondhand volume profiles that you can download from previous places that can help you out. All right, here we go. Here's the bell. So let's give it a second. We'll see Thinkorswim update real quick here in about 1 second. There we go. Negative breath. So not too negative here. All right, we do have a pretty negative tick getting down there around 1500. Remember yesterday we opened up about 1400. And so we want to be paying attention here, see if there's going to be any type of indications that we might get some upside here. And it does look like there goes the open, breaking up a little bit, tick starting to rally here. So the breath is not as negative as I originally thought it was going to be. Definitely not as negative as it was yesterday. So just trying here at this 15 quarter, not really having much luck. My system definitely seems like it's lagging today for sure. So we've got tech green, healthcare's red, financials green, consumer discretionary red, communications green. So real mixed bag here. Breadth is about 4-1, Nasdaq's about 1-1, 14-1 on the call put count. So off to a slower start. Market Smith, yeah. I mean, there's other platforms that are decent for it. Nice little move here. Does anyone else feel like their charts are kind of jumping around a little bit? So you've seen a little bit of volume stepping up here. Yeah, it's just the price action copy. Just jumping around, it seems like there's not really maybe some thin liquidity or something, but a lot of volume coming in around this halfback. Coming back up towards that high. There it goes, takes out that high. Volume stepped up right there. So you're looking to see these buyers step up above this 20 level here. Above 20, that'll probably take us back to the settled at 32. And you're seeing the tick really get some steam here. Seeing a lot of these things like the breast already cooled off a full point here. Still holding, as long as they hold us above this 20, we should still be good to roll. Buyers stepping up again. Now we can move our stop to 24 here. See if we can keep rolling. So really, I mean, the trade setup there, we popped up like right off the open, right? Popped up, and I know we didn't get that that move above zero, but we're not we're not on a gap, right? And so sometimes you gotta go for it, right? But this thing popped up above the open, gave a little push up to the 20, came back down, volume stepped in, and then it started to go again. That was kind of our signal. I got filled on the 1775 and 17 quarters where I took my two fills from. And I've closed one and still rocking one more. Um, I'm looking to put my stop right here at 25 quarter. If it gets there. Got that weak spot right there at that 25 quarter. So that's why I try to hide right behind this kind of weak volume and see if buyers are going to step up, right? So we have buyers come in here, you got that weak volume, so that's a little bit of short covering. We weren't able to get right back to the settle, but now we're seeing more volume step up, so it still looks like, you know, pretty decent spot to keep holding. $88.77, so pretty neutral here. Seeing the breath cool off a little bit. Nasdaq breath's not really participating in the rally as much as the overall market is here. We got that 24-hour VWAP sitting up at the 34, 32 right here. Oh, you still have your Bybit on the trading view? I don't know why mine's not showing on there. That's weird. So interesting look here. The weighted AD is actually putting out some negative numbers. We're seeing, for the most part, most of our sectors are green. Breath is cooling off. We're starting to see some volume step up. So this may be some selling pressure coming in right below that settle. But that A high I definitely would say is mechanical. I'm flat now. I don't have a trade. You took the short. Yeah, I mean, just be careful. Because every pop that we're seeing, that was kind of a grind down, and then we just see a little pop to the upside. So you hit your first target. Nice. Yeah, I mean, you got that weak spot at that 37.20, and you were seeing volume kind of form up above it. So the key here really is to pay attention to this 37.20. If the market can get below and start kind of filling in this volume, you'll want to see them break the open. If not, this is kind of our first little half pipe that we're forming here, and if sellers aren't willing to sell down into this area where price is not really accepted, right? We got low volume, then most likely they come back up, test that 37.28 where these sellers came in originally, or profits started getting taken. Seeing the tick pull back here just a bit, not over that zero level yet. You're seeing the weighted AD just not real strong, not below the 100 or anything like that. I'm actually kind of liking this long right here from the back in the 70. But I can get this thing rolling. Oh, there's some selling right there. So they break it down. If they break this weak level, they got it. Not able to hold it there. Ooh, some big selling right there. So they should see if they get below the open. There they go. 50 points on the NQ hit. Nice. Good shit, bro. That's a nice hit. All the way back down to its 50 SMA. So pretty much sold right off the VWAP, right off the settle. So I would say we get some mechanical sellers in the market there. I like this 1150 on the NASDAQ here. If they hold above this 1150 and we start to see some relative strength, there might be some upside. But I mean, so far it looks like the selling's coming in. We're seeing the breath kick back on. So it's kind of hard to want to get long from here. If these mechanical sellers are able to hold the market down, that's kind of telling us that the market may be a little bit weak. But yeah, the open did hold for the second time right there as well. You're starting to see more volume come in. Sellers kind of holding this 37.16 here. There goes the open. There it goes. So let's see if they can extend the range, right? Their next target would be down here below the Globex low. 87.67. All puts. A pretty mixed bag here. Market seems, pretty unsure what it wants to do, and there it goes, kind of just pops right back up above the open. Oh, I can't drag my chart to the left. Battle on the open. We saw this yesterday. Bot won't be playing today. I'm on a runner now. Nice, nice. I mean, NASDAQ almost tagged its Globex low there. It's pretty close. Couple, about 10 points off of its low. Might have another opportunity here. My initial long was off that 17 quarter, 1775. If we pop back up here at that same spot and start to see some strength, start to see this breath cool down, and start to see this weighted AD come up, healthcare is really just kind of dragging. Well, consumer discretionary is not looking great as well. If we get back up to this 17, there might be a nice little long hiding in the winds here. Kind of dancing around. You're seeing a little bit of selling off that level right there. Can I drag my to the left? I ended up deleting Sierra charts completely off my computer and re-downloading it. Okay. That issue. So far, still holding it down here. Offer still moving down. Seller seems like they're sitting right on that 16-ish area here on the ES, and looks like they've got control here. They're selling the offer. They're selling the bid here. There goes a new low. Thick though, not really impressive. Breath starting to pick up, almost back to 4. Remember, we opened at 4 right here at the open, but we're not. Oh, there it goes. There we go. So now we're starting to see some people flip, maybe. Be just the capitulation. Not real strong selling at the low. This 8 quarter seemed to be where they tried to offer it from here. See if they can get it back below there.
Does that say -4 to 1 for the breath?
Yeah, -4 to 1. They're trying to offer this 8 quarter here, but are just kind of struggling to really push it down. Back above the open. Damn, I tried to get on board right there at 1075, but didn't get filled. Let's see what we get. Watch the 16 level. That's where I think that seller's coming in. That's, you see that selling just right off that 16 once again here. 16 path. Build 1/9 quarter here. We can get any kind of continuation. These are tight. You know, just the market's just not showing me the strength to the downside, which is why I'm trying to get long here. So, you know, not necessarily saying that it can't go down, and I'm definitely being tight on the risk here, right? Out already, but just it's not really giving any real downside. Oh, there we go. That's why we got to be tight on risk. See if the offer moves down here. So they're offering this 550 level. Buyers are still willing to accept it. Still haven't broken that Globex low. That's a weak look here on this low. So you're getting a little bit of short covering here on the 06, it looks like. Offer moves down. They're targeting that. Oh, A low is mechanical, still mechanical. See if they can fix it. So they break the Globex low. Now let's see if they can break the previous day's low. They need to backfill some of this area. There you go. There's a seller stepping in around the 3 there. Really not really a ton of strength down here. Not yet, at least. Comparatively, like, I mean, when we popped up here, we didn't hang out up here for very long. Got a ton of volume. We're popped down here. We're spending a lot of time right here. Not really seeing a ton of volume yet. The breath is picking up, though. We're seeing the tick pretty much pin below 0, right? We're still holding this downtrend here. So break of this downtrend with a tick that pops up and a cooling off of the breath could cause us, you know, to target that open again. The Nasdaq's not looking as weak as the ES here. Nasdaq is down about 0.5, but the ES is down about 0.7. We Got the Dow down about 0.3, so the Dow's not looking as weak as either of them. You wonder, is the ES kind of lagging behind on the upside here? Kind of what I'm thinking. I'm wondering if we're going to clear out this seller at the 16. So you get a little pop there. Watch to see if this gets above 0. I like that 17 to get this thing going. We'll be up above the open. We're breaking trend. Yeah, we've got mixed signals here, but the breath is kind of cooling off. Nasdaq's not really on board on the low. Here we go. Let's see if we pop this 16 here. Kevin posted his trade plan on Discord. He's trading crypto. Thank you, Kevin. And I encourage everybody to do that, right? If you're trading, post your trade plan on Discord, and then just remember, everybody, when they post their trade plan, we're looking for constructive feedback. Don't just get on there and be like, it's a stupid fucking trade, I wouldn't do it. Or be like, oh yeah, that's a really good trade, right? That's not constructive either, right? Offer some assistance. Try to help people maintain perspective, right? That's kind of what we're trying to do here, is help each other out. So here we go, back at that 16 level. Let's see if we clear this seller out and get an opportunity for a rebid, or if this seller is going to try to hold. It looks like we have some selling kind of stuck here right below the open. Yeah, it's a great thing, posting your trade plan. And the thing is, one, it helps you maintain accountability, right? Two, and then because if it doesn't work out, someone comments, hey, did you take this trade? And then you can kind of walk and talk your way through it, which is always good. Something I always recommend is that accountability is so huge, and having a community like this in order to keep each other accountable really definitely helps everybody out. And don't be afraid to post your trade plans either, or even just your trade ideas. Be like, hey, this is an idea I have. I'm thinking about, this long from here. This would be my risk. This is what I'm looking for. These are the reasons. That's always helpful, I think. So seller's still kind of holding the 16 area so far. I think we can pop him. If this tick can get us above 0 here. Still trying to hold the open. Offer's moving down heavy on this 13 quarter here. So if they can't force this market down, then okay, they got it. They got it that time. So watch the 13 quarter now. So I think that seller moved down from the 16 to the 13. Dad, you're done. 3 trades done. Nice. Nice and early. Nice.
Yeah, I was able to
Good stuff.
catch one from, or two of them I caught from 37.24 all the way up to 37.26, 2 lots. And then I tried to get in at 37.06 and it didn't take. So I got in at 37.10 and then put my stop at 37.09. 50, and then it just immediately went up. So I moved my stop up instead of moving my profit down, because I was going to try and get it to the open, and then it passed up the open. So I moved my stop to the open, and it took it out in 3 different spots, because I have my auto trail on.
Right. So it's in 3 lots at a time.
2 lots at a time.
Oh, 2 lots at a time.
Yeah. So then the auto trail, based upon where the ticker goes, it moves them up, and I couldn't take it off fast enough. The fucking thing just went up and took them out. So I mean, I can't complain, because it took me out like 3 points in profit. I think I don't know how many points I did. Do you see it again? It was a pretty good amount. I was like
70 points.
70 points. Yeah, I was gonna say I was at 37 earlier. So getting closer.
Yep. Yeah, you're almost there on a couple of those accounts.
Yeah, 2 of them. Yeah, 2 of them. I'm 500, 600, 700, and 800. getting close. I would like to get him before I have to pay for him again. So
Yeah, but don't need to rush them
no
though.
rush. Yeah, no rush. I'm doing good. I mean, for the week, let's see what I am for the last 2 weeks. It's got to be a fair amount.
So they released back up there. That seller sold the 16 again. So this, let's see if this thing bids back up to 13. Watch to see if that seller moves back down to sell this 13 again, or if he's going to wait again. So he tried the 13 and ended up not working. So he waited again until the 16. It looks like this time he may have got what he needed to take the market lower. You're seeing the breath kind of kick on here a little bit. That tick really failed off that 0 line. We're back below the open here. Did get a little trend break, but so far kind of breaking out of this upper box here. Not able to get past yesterday's low. Still holding that NQ short. Damn, you sat through a bounce right there, my friend. Thing jumped up like 70 points. It was tough. Sometimes you sit through some moves. When the market's volatile, you know, that's kind of what you have to do if you want to stay in a position, especially if you like your entry, you know. It's all about the entry, yeah. And that's the thing is like if you get a good entry, it's really hard for you to, you know, not very often, right? Especially because you got a pretty high entry. I'm sure, you know, it's hard to get out and then see it not come back to your entry and then go back lower than where initially. I agree, TJ. Yeah, and I am like, you know, I've only taken longs today. I'll be honest. I have only been taking some, you know, some of these responsive longs. When I see the short covering start, I just kind of jump on board. They've been, you know, for the most part pretty, except for the first trade off the open was a pretty decent one, but for the most part, everything else has been relatively quick. Just in and out little snatches. I hate that I can't track my chart farther left. Crazy. If you delete Sierra charts and don't save your settings, you have to redo them all. That's what I spent pretty much all day yesterday doing. Well, the seller's still holding it down here. Offers still coming in. To the point of control, it's hard to classify that as mechanical because that's the fairest price, right? So that you know could be longer time frame traders basically accepting that price and saying, okay, well, you know what? I like this price. I'm going to buy it there again. B period coming in. Still seeing pretty negative here. The offers on the 6/4 here. Doesn't get offered again there. That's kind of interesting. Quick one there, 7.5 to 11.5. Watch the 6/4. That's where that offer just jumped out of the way here. So this thing kind of rise back up. You wonder if they're just trying to hold price below this 13.16 area. That's kind of what it seems like, right? It seems like every time we get up here, this 13.16, it just kind of gets smashed back down. How long are they going to be able to kind of hold that back under there? You're just seeing, I mean, on the 1 minute, it's just selling right off the 50 for the most part. Got that VWAP up here, 26, 26.5.
Yeah, if you zoom out on the 1 minute, you can see at least 4 or 5 touches. I mean, as soon as the candles get close, between the 04, 05 down to like the 1, I mean, it's just like instant reaction, short covering,
That thumbtack situation that you're talking about.
Yeah. Sit on a nail, they hop up quick. So I mean, until we stop seeing that, then we know there's still shorts covering. At least in that 4-point range, 5-point range, or whatever. That's holding us up.
Balanced trading right here. Look at the breadth now. 3.5. Look at tick is slowly getting higher and higher, trying to get above that 0 level. Sellers just sitting on this 13 still. Offering. And really, like, this is just kind of showing us with how many times we've crossed above and below the open. This is really just telling of an indecisive market for the most part. Here we go. Pops the 17. See if we get a retest and hold 17. That's what we like to see. Takes above 0. Push down a little bit. Doesn't hold the 17 exactly. Back below that cash VWAP. Cash VWAP sitting right here at the 16. Right where half back's at. You get a little relief right there. Shorts got trapped. See if we can find some momentum or find some support here above this 16 now that that seller, or if he comes back down, starts reoffering below this 16, but it doesn't look like he is. Still offering this 16 though, 15, 16. But no down ticks, if you notice, right? So like keeps coming down to that 16, then every time it hits 16, 15, it pops right back up. See that? 15 pops up. So you're seeing the volume come in, but every time it's an uptick and then it comes back down. The volume comes in, uptick. So now it comes to a point where you're getting all this volume here. Someone needs to make some continuation, right? And there it is. So they're gonna be looking for this VWAP here. Stopped out your runner. You had that previous swing high, I imagine. Go back down to the 16. Now look to see if they're gonna still buy this year. You had some buyers come in. They battled at that 16-15 area. A lot of volume coming in up here. Excuse me for the cough.
This makes me think of one of the things you are always saying, like the market looks like it wants to go down, but it's not doing a good job of going down.
Right. And that's a good point, TJ. Like you always want to be asking yourself that, and that's kind of what I'm asking myself right now as I'm sitting here trying to qualify this long from this 15-16 area, and I'm saying to myself, the market's trying to go down and it's really just not doing a good job, but also it's not really doing the best job at going up either. And so it's really kind of having me hesitant and just kind of sitting on the sidelines at this point.
Yeah.
If they don't break below
Yep.
15 again, then there's 15. No offers
You can
really
kind of
moved down right there.
you can kind of see the singles on the 1 minute. You know, it just shows like where people were shorting before,
Right.
and then it was getting propped up for a second. You know,
And then look at you get it right there again. It's like every time it makes a down tick, it gets popped back up.
yeah. We rejected pretty hard off VWAP up there, so like it definitely looks like we're in a downtrend. You know, like we're still trending down. We're rejecting off of the VWAP, but we're just running into this 3,700 where everybody was shorting on, you know, whatever day that was, T2 2 days ago.
Yeah, and today's a day too. I'll put this over here so it's not really getting in the way. It'll disappear if I put it here. I'll just put it like this. But you can see the NASDAQ here is just barely red, only down about 0.1. The Dow's down about 0.4. I mean, so the NASDAQ and the Dow are kind of in sync today, whereas the ES seems to be lagging behind the market. So, I mean, everything's below its VWAP. The NASDAQ and the Dow both below the VWAP, but not really seeing that strength in the push down really. I mean, and you're seeing mixed, right? And look at Netflix is up 13%, of course, big from yesterday, but Nvidia's green, Netflix green, Meta green, Disney green, Apple green, Tesla's just barely red. ENX is up, but it's down from its open. It was up at 41. It's down. VIX is down a little bit. It was up 31.77. We're seeing the dollar come down a little bit. We're not really seeing. I mean, there's just so much mixed signals here, and you wonder, is the ES leading the way down? And You know, people are just doing what they can in the smaller indexes like the Nasdaq and the Dow, right? They don't carry as many stocks as the S&P 500. Or is that an indication that these smaller stocks like big energy and consumers and tech both being a little bit stronger than the S&P, that the S&P is basically going to have to bend its will and turn over, right? So far, I mean, so far B period is just inside A. We don't really have any decisiveness, and I think TJ was kind of spot on. Until he starts to see some value build underneath yesterday's low, he still wants to treat this as excess, right? So we have this kind of excess low that's been acting as support. You know, even on that K touch yesterday, and then 3 touches down here in Globex, even L, you know, pretty close to that E period, still acting as support up or down here, excuse me. And the market, like he said, not doing a good job of moving lower. So SOH, what's SOH? Holding the open.
No, I hope he's right. I'm a little worried about my trade.
Holding the open, 31 is way away, so bulls can still try, and shorts want down, so battle. S1 is 10 area. Need more MGI. Yep. Oh, sitting on hands. Okay. Dr. VJ, you're hip with the lingo, my man. You're getting me with all these acronyms. I need to step my game up. I have to go grab another drink. I need the energy. I slept like just absolute shit last night, just coughing all night. Yeah, like it got those stops below their lecker and then just couldn't get any continuation. You're seeing the offer back here on the 16, little downtick there. They don't want to see this get back above 1750. Yeah, you can snag some scalps today. I basically just, for the most part, only snag scalps. I had a decent trade from 17 quarter up to 28, and then another decent one from 750 up to 1575, but everything else has been 5 to 7 quarter, 9 to 14, 7 to 11. Everything else has been kind of tricky. This looks like they got it though. Buyers are still coming in. Yeah, good. Let's target that 25 here. But NASDAQ made a higher high. The ES did not. ES is just getting back to its VWAP. NASDAQ is above its VWAP. There we go. So ES starting to catch up here. NASDAQ's actually up 0.3. Seeing the weighted AD flip positive. Get the tick, just really just pushing up there. Netflix had good earnings yesterday, could be a driver, yeah. So B period fails at A high just barely. It really stepped up. It looks like on the 2275, 22 area, and then maybe the 19 area. See 22 right here, and then that 19 area was kind of like where all the shorts started covering. Were you short, Kevin?
Yeah, with the tight stop, I wasn't 100% sure. I should have just waited another period, see what Mark was going to do. Wait for more correlation.
Yeah, I mean, and even right now, we don't really have any like concrete data like that. The MGI that TJ's talking about, like, we'd like to see this B period take this A high. That's another weak look up here at the high. Market can't get anything going yet. We want to see this B period take this A high. So we are seeing, Nasdaq's up 20% or 20, fuck, that'd be crazy. 0.2%. Dow's cooling a little bit down, up 0.1. ES is negative about 0.1. Dollar's coming down a bit. ENX is coming down a bit. Tesla's almost positive. Tesla's back and forth, just basically out and flat. You said the overnight was net long, Mohammed? Yeah, I kind of got the I got the other impression. If anything, overnight was probably balanced, right? But for the most part, I liked it. I kind of correlated as short. So that's what this could be, just correction of that overnight trading. $45-degree angle on the low of the 1 minute. Be right back, guys. It's stepping up here. Go. So there they go. There's some decisiveness right there. They take it. Further on the Nasdaq rolling here. See that NASDAQ breadth just flipped positive here. See if it holds. We're seeing the weighted sectors for the most part are all flipping green. B's above the settle here. We can see where these trapped shorts are at. They start to cover, start to cover, start to cover. If they hold this weak inventory right here, they should target above that half back. And if we see some strength above half back, that's where we got to start paying attention to this kind of upper distribution, that overnight point of control, and then the A excess from yesterday would make sense to be the target on the upside. Friday point of control right here. Yep. Call out. Good call out. So if we don't get a strong reaction, you can target that value area high 42. Mechanical selling right off that B half back. Right off the, well, at the B high, but right off of yesterday's half back, excuse me. You can see this downtrend. This is the one we were tracking from the morning, right? So this is a longer term downtrend from the overnight high. Look to see if they're going to bust that. And it does look like that might be the move. IL goes in a long here. Took it from 35 there. And it's targeting the 48 here. Value's not building higher? What do you mean? On the NASDAQ? Let's just quick. Gonna catch a fade here. Looking for that. You're looking for that NASDAQ short. I'm just trying to pull up the NASDAQ EPO real quick. I mean, you're seeing some volume come in on the NASDAQ. So here's the NASDAQ TPO here. You're seeing that volume come in up higher and seeing where all these shorts are still trapped. Right, so volume's still coming in up here. Got shorts trapped here. If we can't get below that, I mean, you still, this thing's just going up because all these shorts are trapped in the Nasdaq here. Got out. Yeah, smart. Smart. Nice long trade after making a poor high on A bar and not being able to break up yesterday's low. I definitely had a long bias. Good stuff, Lecker. Nice job. Yeah, I definitely cut my long too soon. I cut my long at 22 last one, and here we are 10 points higher. Issue I've been having for the past couple of days is volatility. You know, we haven't seen this kind of volatility in a decent amount of time, and it's been tough to kind of hold on to some of these trades, even though there's real no reason to get out of that long. It was just, we've just seen, you know, markets have been, how inconsistent the market's been, really makes it difficult to want to sit in the trade. I'm looking at that 11,290 on the Nasdaq. Yeah, and that's a key point, right? You're getting up here. We want to see volume come up. That's what's going to give us that continuation. The interesting thing is here we got 1 minute. We're going to open up with some single print, so that'll be a key indication. Is it going to come down? Is it not going to come down? A win is a win, right? Right. Excuse me. Yeah, we get some oil news coming out. The oil inventory report comes out 10:30. I could pull it up. It's not really not really going to be too much of a market mover, I don't think, today. Yeah, just negative 175. So they're just cutting back on oil. That's it. See if oil gets a reaction right there. Oil's up 1.4% though. We got Fed Kashkari today at 1300, then Evans after the market at 1830 after the and then Bullard at 1930. So maybe some more opportunity in the Globex again. What we've seen the past couple of days, we've seen some pretty decent Globex trading. What other earnings do we have today? Got Tesla, IBM, Las Vegas Sands, Kinder Morgan, Texas Capital, WD-40. Another poor high here. Sorry, I'm trying to mess with indicator. So I'll go in gear. Oh, nice.
Are you not talking loud or is it me?
Oh, it could be me. Could be me.
Yeah, it was you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, I'm a little tired today, so I'm trying to motivate myself. Like you said, been watching your old streams and haven't watched yet to get more market experience time really helps. Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, the one thing you can't really replace, you know what I mean, is just you cannot really replace that market time, right? That time spent on the market, screen time.
I watched your day 5 of trading boot camp with, and you had the trading view, or not trading view, the trading places video on there. It's so great.
Yeah, that was good.
Made me want to watch the movie again.
After that day, I did watch the movie. After we watched that, I did watch it.
I was like 13. Those are the first movies I saw on like screen. They were great. Back when Jamie Lee Curtis was hot.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah, and you know what? Like it never hurts to rewatch some of these videos to get the basics back in. Um, you know, I think that happens a lot of times as people get away from the basics. You know, they just they the fundamentals of what they're actually doing and get kind of fixated on something that's been working lately, and then when that stops working, right? And it's like momentum traders. That's why momentum traders, you know, they when the market's trending, which is about 20% of the time, they're just killing the market. And then all of a sudden the market stops trending and they don't have really anything to go back on. And then they're just kind of, you know, kind of stuck. Yeah, Dad, you're almost there. About 800 bucks away on 2 of them. And then
No, that right there is that's from
yesterday.
yesterday.
Yeah.
But this is the longest I've had a PA account, and this is, I would say, probably 90% of that is on the MES. So,
And that was the plan before you started it. You know what I mean?
I know,
Like,
yeah, I know. Fucking stubborn son of a bitch.
I know.
Right. If I'd have done this, I'd be $20,000 ahead of myself.
Hindsight, right? Imagine
Yeah,
if
well,
you just
I mean,
listened to
hey,
your son
everybody
on the
learns
first
from my
time.
mistake. That's smart people learn from other people's mistakes. Don't do what I did and think that just because your son's in there that he's going to give you trades, because he ain't going to give you trades, guys. If he ain't giving me a trade, he better not give none of you guys a trade.
It doesn't help you.
Solid is what you give me. Yeah.
So that, yeah, that's awesome to see. So we're right back here, right at that A high-ish area, right? So right here where the market originally kind of topped out. So let's see. There should be a little bit of a battle here, I imagine, if these buyers are going to step up or if they're going to step down. We're starting to see the breadth get a little bit weak here. Healthcare is not doing anything. That rally was really just on the backs of the NASDAQ for the most part. When you guys did the Apex eval using the MES or the ES, seems like really hard to achieve 1500. Achieve the 1500? What do you mean? 1500 on the MES? The thing is like that's, and this is something I talked to my dad about at length and multiple times, because of how stubborn he is. You've got to think about the drawdown. Yeah, it seems easy, like, oh, 1500, that's only X amount of points in you don't have to make it in 10 days, Thomas. That's the thing. And that's where they get you with these evals is they're like, oh, if you make it in 10 days, then you have a funded account. But to get that funded account in 10 days, you're basically, putting on a lot of risk in order to try to achieve this goal. But you have as much time as you want, right? Or as you need. You just have to pay the monthly fee, which is fine because over time, which is what we're doing, right? We're taking our time back, but in order to get the time on the back end, you got to put it in on the front end, right? Nothing easy that comes was ever worth it, right? Not that I believe. I think everything that you need is takes time, right? And so if you're basically gambling with that 1500 account, right? So I think it's like the 1500s on the 25K account, and you're trading an ES lot. I mean, that's only, what is that? That's 25 points. I mean, the market range today is 40 points. If you got in at the wrong spot, your account's already blown just today by the volatility, And so the issue is they want you to try to force it to get it in that 10 days. Maybe it takes you 30 days, maybe it takes you 40 days, maybe it takes you 60 days, right? But the thing is actually achieving it, right? And not resetting a million fucking times. And so yeah, maybe you make 20 points today and that's $100 on the MES. And you're like, oh, like if I would have done that on the ES, that would have been, $1,000, right? And over time, eventually you'll get to that. But it's just not, it's not as easy as YouTube or as the general public makes it seem like it is.
So you have to be in the positive for 10 days, or how's that work?
No, you just have to not break the drawdown, and there's no set amount of time. Just after the 30 days, they are gonna charge you again. So if your account's blown and you just wait the 30 days, then they reset it after that 30 days is up. But if you're still working on the account, then that's it. You have to trade at least 10 days to qualify. Yeah. You just have to trade, you have to trade 10 days. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so they give you as long as you need to qualify, as long as you pay the monthly sub. Exactly, Jason. Yeah, exactly. One loss, one revenge trade to blow it. Yeah. That's all it takes. Feeling really stupid? Nah, bro, you're good. Jake B, I work for a company called T3 Solutions. Or with, right, that's a debatable question, honestly. I mean, if anything, it's really just that they get 10% of all my earnings for taking on the risk that I put on every single day. That's pretty much it. If this is your first time joining the chat or joining on YouTube, go ahead and smash that like button. Make sure that you post below that you're not in the Discord and you want to get in the Discord and join a community of like-minded individuals that is here to take their time back from the market. We only ask that you be positive and respectful. Everyone is at a different stage in their journey to becoming what I refer to as a risk manager. So, no need to get in there and show how good of a trader you are. You've got to have that open mind and be willing to learn from everybody, regardless of if it's someone who's been trading a lot less than you, someone who's been trading a lot longer than you. There's always something to learn. And that's it, not just in trading, that's really in everything in life. And that's why, most of the smarter people are the quieter people. A lot of loud people are compensating a lot of times. Taking 10% is like having an agent or a manager. Yeah, kind of. 10% is not too bad, I don't think. I mean, they take on all the risk, really, so. Yeah, that's a good point, Jake, is like, I honestly believe this, and I've said this, countless number of times. I really do think that trading is a skill that everybody can learn. It's just that a lot of people run out of money or blow all of their money before they actually get the opportunity to learn. And relate it to a sport that you've played before that you excelled at, and think about when you first started, right? Maybe you were naturally good at it, but once you started getting into the competitive edge of that sport, it took a little bit of hard work, I'm sure, or a lot of hard work to be at that expert level, right? It's not like Cristiano Ronaldo just naturally has the gift from God. He puts a lot of hard work into it. Yeah, 10 days is just too much. Yeah, a lot of chop at the VWAP and the 50 SMA, right? Held as resistance earlier and is now kind of holding as support. Still seeing some buyers step up here. The offer's coming in right here, 27 quarter though. And we're in between the cash VWAP and the 24-hour VWAP. I don't know, this calculation of this VWAP is different than the way that my VWAP is counting. Excuse me. So offer's still coming in here. We're trying to come in here on this 27. There they go. They got it. If you have any issues, Jake V, just hit me up on the Discord. I can help you out. I'm pretty familiar with how their stuff runs. Struggling for the TPO training. What's going on, Reyes? Can't get any good trades. There hasn't been a ton, to be honest with you. There hasn't been a ton of opportunity here in the market. We're seeing the seller right off this VWAP at 27 still getting offered up there. That's where they're going to look to test if they can get anything up. If they can't get anything up, you're still seeing a little bit of selling here at 25. Buyers kind of got stuck right here at the 25, so a little bit of a liquidation below the cash VWAP. Looking to test that downtrend. Yeah, that's true. Jake, that's true. There it goes. So there's that liquidation below the cash VWAP. See if they pop it up or hold it below here. Trying to, or they're bidding this 22 actually. Buyers are stepping up on the 22 here. Buyers look like they got stuck right there on the 24. Absorbed. Finally nailed another 50 points off that high. Back to one runner left. Good stuff. Way to stay patient, Jason. Starting to see a little flip here. We're starting to see the breath. NASDAQ breath is flipped back to negative. NASDAQ's basically flat right at its open here. Sitting below its VWAP. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, patience is just such a tough skill, like to practice. You've got to practice it in other aspects of your life, I think. You know, yesterday I was playing Super Smash Brothers with my son, and he's like, you know, he's it's pretty 50-50, right? But he does beat me sometimes, and you know, I remember like back in the day when I was younger, I would be just pissed. You know what I mean? I would be like, fuck no. Um, but you know, really, it's just kind of like I'm at that point where I'm able to just be like, it's just a game, and as much as I, you know, want to be good at it, you know, I can still practice and get good at this game, and I don't need to get animated right now in order to be that. Practice it in traffic. Yeah, that's a good spot. A lot of people are impatient in traffic. That makes sense. Starting to see that tick get pretty oversold here at this 1000 level. So sellers are trying to come in heavy here. Could be an opportunity here. If these sellers aren't able to really take some stops, and if they don't break here below the open, we're back at that 17 level. Remember, this is a big level from earlier. If they're not able to get below this open here on this push down, I think we might be able to take a nice responsive long back up into that 24, 26 area. Competition here at the 17. up. They weren't able to break the open there. Let's see if we can actually get some steam. These shorts start to cover here. We should take a nice little ride up here to the 24 area. 22, 24 area. That's where that offer was kind of sitting at before, I think. 224. Seller's still trying to hold on. That offer at 19, 18, 1850. They came down and started to sell a little bit more. Yeah, that's a tough one right there, Kevin, because that's what makes you try to revenge trade. You know what I mean? Like you put your stop too tight, it hits you, and then boom, you're like, oh no, no.
Well, that's why my trade plan, I just have two trade max with half hour between.
What's Zeno of Sidum in Athens?
The waiting between half hour between trades is really helping the lot flow.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, and also setting a boundary as far as like how many trades you'll take a day as well, because believe it or not, like it's mentally exhausting taking 10, 20, 30 trades a day. You can get kind of worn out and you'll start to get that mirage type feeling. You start seeing things that aren't really there, and then you start forcing things or taking things that you wouldn't normally take if you're in that right mental space. So if you just be patient and kind of wait for those setups to come, more often than not, I think you're a lot better off. Trying to put people down in a rabbit hole. Nice. I like a good rabbit hole from time to time. All right, I'll be right back, guys. Oh, here we go. Nice. I'm like walking away and coming back. See if we're gonna get this continuation. Seller's still kind of lurking up here at this 21, it seems. Offer moving down. I'm gonna give them one more chance really to break this up. If not, if they don't start showing up right here, this thing's gonna probably come back down to the low, I'm thinking. And my reasoning really is just right back to my trade plan for the most part, right? I wanted to see us get strength above half back, and that would give us that opportunity to get continuation. Basically failed right at the value area high. We talked about this excess yesterday, and then the poor high from Globex really kind of making me assume or kind of think that there is a seller in the market, a longer time frame seller that's, you know, responding to these higher prices. I mean, yesterday we got a little bit of liquidation. I think that seller tried to pile on a little bit or kind of caused the liquidation. And we're kind of seeing that, you know, that poor high look again here, showing us really that nobody's really buying yet, and they're kind of nervous about it. So I don't have a trade on right now, but just the tough situation really to try to get long after they just kind of popped that thing up but then failed again at that 20, what was that high, 22.50. Now you're starting to see him try to push this thing down here a little bit. They kind of held it on the VWAP, lost it, and then now they're pushing it down again. Excuse me. They've got, I mean, here's this last chance really. If they don't break this thing up above the 22 this time, we're gonna have to kind of just assume that we might want to go test that low there. Offer move down on that 1850. Where sellers got caught last time, and then you got that little pop, and then they came back in around this 22, 24 area. That's really the area where we need to see them show some strength right here and pop this thing through and run some stops in order to give us that confidence to try to jump on board here. The 17 area has been kind of a battleground all day for the most part. 17, I mean, kind of this whole area really, like from 16 to 20, honestly, has been right where our point of control is at, which makes sense. We've seen, you know, this is the fairest price of the day, so there's a lot of two-sided trading going on in this area. And it fails again there, 21.5. Buyers are trying to step up right here on the 20 though. We need to get back above that 24 to convince us. Back above this volume here.
So are you setting up your buys after trade plan, or do you just wait to see what the market is before you do it?
Say that again. What?
Are you setting up your buys off your trade plan, or do you wait to see what the market's doing?
Well, so I have my plan in place, and then I'm still paying attention to when it gets there. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a set in stone type of trade. Like, okay, if the market touches 37.20, I'm getting long, right? It's all market dependent because the market could be getting to 37.20 and all of a sudden, you know, we get all these bearish signals. I'm not just going to be buying blindly. So it's always contextual to what's going on, but I have a plan in place, and these are kind of the key zones that I'm honing in on and deciding, okay, is this a spot that I like still? All right, Jason, good work, man. Have a good day. So that 2250 still got offered there. They were not able to break up to the 24, and that's kind of a third knock on the door and fail right there, I think. You're seeing, you know, you see if you look at the 1 minute chart, we've got a 1 spot, 2 spot, 3 spots right there. That's pretty cool. Peter Reznicek's coming out with this thing that he says is gonna replace the tick in the quad box. PA is price action. I know that one. Nailed it. Just curious though, do any of you use RSI to help on days like today? That's something I use, even though it's lagging, it helps. Yeah, TJ uses RSI quite frequently. There we go. Finally some commitment right there from these longs. Let's see if they can hold. So there's a 25, so we're above the 24. Buyers step up in on the 25. Buyers still lifting the offer here at the 25, right at the 24-hour view up here, so we can expect some mechanical selling. You know what's funny is I was looking at I was actually looking at RSI today. It's funny that you mentioned that. And I was looking at a 10-minute chart. My phone like defaults to 10-minute charts. Because that's what I run my algo on, is on a 10-minute chart. And if we look at it here, I was actually gonna text TJ because there was a bullish divergence on the RSI. Check this out. Right here. So we made this lower low, and the RSI didn't make a lower low. So a little bullish divergence there. I was almost gonna, I really was. I swear I was gonna text TJ that, but I just was, I was driving my daughter to school and just never. I didn't remember until I got back, and then once I got back, pretty much as soon as I get back from dropping the kids off at school, I start the stream. So.
Yeah, I like you. I'm pretty much always watching RSI and just as I'm tracking the inventory, and it just kind of gives you some insight, like the C high that we broke above the B high, put in a bearish divergence, we rotated all the way back down. That D low, where it just peaked below down to like the 1375, put in a bullish divergence. We rotated back up. I'm not necessarily like trading off of them, but I do like use it as confluence with what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, and there's nothing that's where I think that the the best the best ideas is that, you know what I mean? Like using it as confluence or like another check in your trade confirmation list, right? You're looking to get short or you're looking to get long. Okay, there's a bullish divergence on the RSI. It's not necessarily something that's going to just put you long, but if you're also seeing, okay, the tick's getting above zero, weighted AD is going positive, the breadth's starting to tick up, all the sectors are mostly green, right? Boom. There's just another check on the block, gives you that little bit of confidence that you might need to get into it. Kind of like we talked about how if you're having a hard time fighting the trend, right? Throw a moving average on your chart and don't use it as a spot to. We're back at this 24. This is a key level right here. This 24. Don't use it as a level to buy or sell off of, or sell when it crosses or any shit like that. Use it as an area to see, like if you smash this out real quick, and we kind of go back to the Globex session, and you see that you buy here and you take a loss, and then you buy here and then you take a loss, and you can just see that this 50 moving average is just going down and down and down. The market's pretty much just staying below it the whole time. Then you're fighting the trend, right? And then when it's crossing it a bunch, obviously there's no trend. The indicator's flat, and so you want to use more of the slope of it than anything, in my opinion. And right now it is kind of trying to tick up, but still fairly flat. So there's really no trend in place. If anything, we're kind of getting a little bit of a steeper downtrend here, and we're kind of coiling into this little box right here. That 24 held right there though, so copy. And where's our target? That C high, 42, 21. But you know what I mean? Like that's a good thing to look at. And I was just looking at the RSI on my phone. Like I have the Thinkorswim mobile app. And I was looking at a 10-minute chart. That's what I run my algo on, and seeing like, okay, what's my algo going to be looking for today? Today the algo is really looking for longs unless we get some serious downside. And right now, the algo is basically, it's underwater about 4 points. But I mean, it sits through a little bit of action. And then I just kind of noticed like, oh, RSI is a bullish divergence. That's interesting.
Yeah, one thing that I thought was crazy that I haven't seen in a really long time, as I was going through like the time frames, like working my way down, like monthly, weekly, daily, etc., is on the weekly chart and the daily chart, and like several time frames below that are all bullish diverging at the same time.
Yeah, that's
So
interesting.
I thought that was interesting. Like to see a divergence on a weekly or a daily is pretty rare, I think. So it's, of course, it's a bigger time frame. It's going to take longer for it to play out, probably. But the fact that they're all there is interesting.
EMI. I like to use the CVD for crypto to spot my divergences. Because it's traded so thin, people tend to force their way into the market if they really are trying to push a position.
What do you use?
CVD, that cumulative volume delta indicator on TradingView. The same one that I've always used. Keep failing this 27.
I don't see a CBD. It comes up as CBD delta or combo breaker detection.
Type in cumulative volume delta. That'll bring it up. I would say I would help you how to spell it, but big bid steps up on the 28. Let's see if they can hold this 28 here. Short covering or what? Above. Really trying to hold this VWAP here. Offer's moving down. So that bid just jumped to the 28. Might have been just to get out there.
And this profile today, a lot different than what we've seen the last week.
Yeah. Very, very tiny range. Yeah, so this volume profile, Jason, is for the session. And then this volume profile is just the last 30 minutes. It's not for the D period. It's for just a cumulative of 30 minutes time. Because sometimes, if a new bar opens up, D opens up here, and then we just have only volume here. We can't see anything that recently happened. I like to see what recently happened. So I know a lot of them show like, they have like an individual profile for the bar, but for me, I find this more helpful. Oh, excuse me. Passive aggression. We're bouncing in between the cash VWAP, which is sitting at 21, and the 24-hour VWAP, which is sitting right here at 26. Still kind of
So
holding.
can you
this
show how you
direction.
use that indicator, that CBD?
Yeah.
The
I mean,
CVD, I think CBD.
What is it?
I thought you said CBD. It's CVD. I didn't hear you.
I might have said that.
There's a U after the M.
Thanks.
Yeah. I was just looking at it.
Here we go. Cumulative delta volume. This is. Oh. What the fuck? Now there's two. It's on there twice. So, I mean, basically, I'm just using it the same way that you would use the RSI, right? So, like, I really only, when I trade crypto, I really just stick to the 30-minute chart and don't really get away from it. A little bit of liquidation here on the ES. Down there, back below this week volume. I mean, but you could see here, like, if we do break this low, most likely you'll probably have a bullish divergence because we're going to be making a lower low on price and a higher low on excuse me, on volume. On the CDV, excuse me, cumulative delta volume. I keep calling it cumulative volume delta. And so that's just basically how I use it. I haven't really found it to be very useful on the ES, to be honest with you. We can even look at the ES here. I guess you get a bullish divergence there, but no follow through. I haven't found it to be very useful on the ES. I don't know why my Bybit chart is all of a sudden gone for. So a little liquidation there. But we're not able to hold that bad boy up. The breath is not really picking up here yet, though. Not as much as you would expect, right? Right back at that 17 level. Maybe on a shorter time frame, Jake, it would work. But I've looked at it. I've looked at it on the ES because it works for crypto. At least for me, it works for crypto. But I haven't found it to work really for the ES at all. I don't really like Delta when it comes to the ES, to be honest, because I think that the market makers do a pretty decent job at hiding orders. So Delta becomes kind of less important. But I think I'm gonna call it. I got some errands that I got to run today, so we're about to get into E period. We're right here at the London close. We assume that a lot of London is short, right? This could have just been a little bit of short covering, and then see that seller move down and start to move down. We're at this big half pipe, and we've kind of got two distributions here, right? You got this upper distribution and this lower distribution. So if you were to use your imagination and kind of split these into, look to see if they get acceptance. Try to trade lower. The key would be to break that open. If these sellers are strong, they need to break that open. We've seen the ticket below 1,000 twice now, right around this 17 level, and not break the open. And so we're kind of like in this car here, but this is like an old man that has glasses and gray hair, and he's trying to drive up, but just not doing a very good job, and then drive back down, but he's just kind of all over the road here. So definitely exercise caution going into the rest of today. You can see we're, for the most part, still within initial balance, and that's kind of showing us that mostly the people in the market are just shorter time frame traders today. You know, not really any conviction from either side. A break of the A low and taking us below the prior day's low should cause a pretty decent amount of liquidation with how much time we're spending up here, and you'll be looking for that acceptance down lower. With us having 4 TPOs already, it does decrease the odds of a trend day starting, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it can't. And with the volatility as high as it is, you definitely never want to rule it out. But other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure that you are managing risk and sticking to your trade plan. And I will catch you all later.